Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I'd really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing the TAG Heuer Aquaracer 500M Calibre 5 as it appeared from 2009 to 2012. 43mm in stainless steel, the watch has a handsome and unusual geometrically faceted case, and though it is a large watch at 43mm on my 16cm circumference wrist, it wears quite easily because it's not very thick, only 13.3mm thick, nor is it exceptionally broad, measuring 50.2mm lug-to-lug. I can actually recommend this watch, as you see it here on the rubber strap, for a wrist as small as 14cm in circumference. Now the timepiece does have an interesting interface between case and strap. There's a little metal end piece that's fitted. Make no mistake though, with conventional spring bars you can still fit a strap to this one, and the spacing between the lugs is a modern and broad 21mm. Now the strap itself is a cuttable model. You can also use the crimping device inside of the clasp, so you have the ability to cut it, but I actually recommend you just crimp it because all excess length is stored underneath the clasp when buckled, and you can see how it's very clean with no excess length flapping in the breeze and no need for strap minders on the opposite side of the strap. There's an interesting hobnail print that's molded into the strap, and then you can actually see how the shoulders are slightly beveled and rounded off, and it's an interesting look that visually pares down the mass of the strap while allowing it to be very thick, tough, and tear resistant. You can also see the TAG logo, the TAG shield on both sides. It's a surprisingly nuanced strap, and you can see on the underside it features an inverse hobnail that allows it to aerate the wrist, creating a little bit of an air pocket to relieve the wrist on a hot day. The clasp is nicely made with the TAG shield. It's of satin finish with a trigger release, so you can ensure that this one will not pop open by accident. You must press both triggers to release it. So a high-grade clasp and a handsomely made and thoughtfully designed strap. This case appears round at first glance, but it's anything but. You can see the unusual choice of vertical satin finish rather than longitudinal, and the vertical satin finish emphasizes the sharp facets of this semi-geometric case design. You can see that it's present on every surface and every facet all the way around the stub-style lugs, and you'll note that the watch does feature a helium escape valve for you saturation divers, so 500 meters water resistant, also acceptable for saturation diving. The bezel is just as geometrically severe as the case, perhaps even more so as it features more facets. There's a little bit of a rolled satin finished bevel from the hood to the flank, and then you have these riders that flare up a bit like a Breitling chronomat and make it a bit easier to grip and utilize the bezel on a hot day or a day when you might have wet, sweaty, or gloved hands. Now, bezel detent, let's hear it. It's actually pretty good. It's a sharp 120 click bezel. You can grip it easily and align its luminescent pearl with the minute hand. Now you've got a 0 to 60 minute count up timer. I prefer dive bezels to chronographs. They're easier to read and you always get full 60 minutes. You rarely get a 60-minute counter on a chronograph. You have raised metallic numerals and indices, and then you have a vulcanized rubber inlay. And my experience is that these stand the test of time. With the oldest of them now 10 years old, I've never seen one flake or fail. The dial itself continues the striation pattern that you see on the bezel, and it's a vertical sort of pinstriping that's dramatic in the light. All of the indices are applique, which is impressive for this price point, rather than printed applique TAG logo, broadsword style hands, modified broadsword we'll call it, a orange index count-weighted lancet style seconds hand, and an unusual lefty Cyclops eye magnifier. You rarely see Cyclops eyes outside of the Rolex catalog, and you hardly ever see them on the 9 o'clock side of a watch in any case. Now the movement itself is what TAG Heuer calls its Calibre 5. You can see the case back design. Well, Calibre 5 is a Sellita SW200. It beats away at 28,800 vibrations per hour. It features stop seconds and a quick set, water resistant, as you can see, down to 1,660 feet or 500 meters roughly speaking. It features the stop seconds and the quick set and a very smooth bidirectional reversing system, so it winds in both directions. You can see the two reversing wheels just under my finger. It's nicely decorated with a satin finish on the rotor. There's an engine turned perlage on the bridges, and it is a very, very tough movement with a 38-hour power reserve. You can see This tank tough, handsome, and distinctive TAG Heuer Aquaracer 500M, a watch that really looks like no other dive watch, and make it yours. Lean, mean, stainless steel on the watch box. TAG Heuer Aquaracer 500M Calibre 5 by Night.